Welcome to the Candle Business Coach podcast. I'm your host, Kirsty Allen, and I am the Candle Business Coach. I'm also a mum of three and a kindness advocator. This podcast is all about making and selling candles, business development, and mindset, delivered to you with advice, inspiration, and motivation in a new episode every Friday. This episode is brought to you by the membership for candle makers, the Candle Makers Collective. Becoming a member gives you access to fortnightly online group Q&A coaching sessions to support you, monthly online workshops and trainings to help you grow your business, plus frequent expert guest speakers to inspire and teach you. You'll also have access to an ever-growing resource library with templates, guides, planners, and ebooks. But my favorite aspect of the membership is our exclusive Facebook group for accountability, connection, and support. So if you're looking to take your candle business to the next level and learn more about the membership for candle makers, click the link in the show notes for the Candle Makers Collective. Welcome back to the podcast, my friend. Today we have a very special guest on the podcast because Lena is at the beginning of her candle making journey. And what I love about these conversations is that we get to dive into the excitement, the anticipation, the joy, and the hope that is at the beginning of a journey as opposed to coming in midway. Which, I mean, the excitement's still there, but it just brings a different energy. So I'm so excited to talk to Lena today.
Hi, I'm Lena. I'm the owner of Lovely Wicks and Cakes.
For those that are paying attention, your accent is a little bit different to my Australian one. Do you want to share where you are in the world?
I'm from Ontario, Canada.
Beautiful. I love chatting with international candle makers. I think it's such a joy of having technology that can bring us together. And so it's so nice to chat with you and to hear about your passion and your obsession with candles. But where did it all begin? When did you realize, yes, this is what I want to do in my life?
Honestly, so it's been something that's been on my heart for a while. And I would never go forward and push my way to doing it, like start making the candles or start experimenting anyway, until this girl that I know, she started making candles, and it kind of pushed me hey, if she can do it, why can't I? So I decided to buy a starter pack or a starter kit off of Amazon, which I found to realize that wasn't a smart idea because now I just have a bunch of extra wax that I don't actually want to use. So anyway, that's how I started it off. And yeah, it just kind of went from there, and I've just been really enjoying it. So yeah.
You mentioned before that your business is called Lovely Wicks and Cakes. Tell us, where does that name come from and what does it mean to you?
I'm really bad at choosing names, and I would always look at other companies and they usually use their name, and I want something to rhyme and kind of make sense with my name, but nothing really my last name is Weeb and my first name is Lena, and nothing really candles really make sense with that. So I was like, how about my initials? So I decided Lovely for the L and then Wicks for the W. And I do, as most people usually do, soaps and body washes and stuff like that for the candles, but I really enjoy baking. So I decided to do cheesecakes. So that's where the cakes come from.
I have so many questions about how those two passions have collided. And if a customer comes and finds you for the cheesecakes as opposed to the candles, then it's a good segue to say, hey, did you know I also have this product as well? And you can cross-promote the two different products together, and it opens you up to a whole new customer or target market based on having that diversified product range, which is, just so fascinating.
Yeah, that's kind of why I like doing it that way, because I started off with just doing cheesecake because I love baking. I love cooking. I love baking. And I originally started off with cheesecakes, and because I work full time, and I was just like, cheesecakes are easy enough for me. I can do them on the side yet. And I'm like, why not expand and go forth with the candles, and then I'll just put the two together. And then that way, if someone buys a cheesecake or a candle, I can just promote exactly the other side of my business. So it's really neat. I like it.
So tell us, what stage are you at with baking candles? You said that you bought a kit from Amazon. How long ago was that, and where are you up to now?
I'm still kind of in the beginning phase. I don't know. I'm kind of I'm going to stick with beginner because I feel like I'm still a beginner, but I bought the kit a couple months ago. I want to say end February, beginning March-ish. And I started off with that. And then I kind of looked at different kinds of vessels that I wanted to use, whether it be a glass vessel or a tin vessel. And I decided on doing the tin. So I bought, because the kit that I got from Amazon. It didn't really come, it came with like 6 different kinds of vessels. They were tins and I didn't really like the look of them. So I bought like a separate pack for my niche market, I guess. So I started experimenting with those because I know you kind of have to like test out each vessel that you get. So, it's safe to use. And so I was just experimenting with those. And yeah, I started, I made a scent. I kind of like mixed my own scents, which I'm gonna stick away from that because I was experimenting. I'm like, I don't know the whole mathematical stuff for mixing scents, so I'm like, I'll just stick with just plain scents. And for now, and I for these first couple candles, I had mixed the scents obviously, and I had named it Mexican Sunrise. Just did a soft launch of my candles and they sold out within like 3 days. I had only made 3 candles, but the fact that they sold out in 3 days, I was like, wow, that's actually quite amazing. So I made another batch of different scented ones and I haven't had too much action with those, but there's hope. So yeah.
I think it's so important to try different things, especially at the beginning of your journey, so that you can see what you actually want to continue with. Some of the candle makers I speak to will have, like, they'll purchase one wax and they'll just stick with that and they don't want to try anything else. But then they have all these issues with that wax and you think, well, maybe that's not the wax for you in your journey. And it's about trying new things, seeing what you feel comfortable with, what's going to push you a little bit with your knowledge and your experience, but still have fun along the way. So it's so good that you're having such a positive experience so far.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of actually researching candle making and running a candle business, have you been doing a lot of research and where have you been finding your information?
I have been doing a lot of research. I had done so much research. I just came to a point where I was just listening to the exact or just getting the same answers over and over and over again. And that's what pushed me to actually start making the candles. And most of my research, I'm in a couple Facebook groups and then also your podcast. I listen to your podcast like daily at work. I was like binge listening to it. So I got a lot of information from your podcast and the odd Google search. And then there's a candle maker local to me. And I messaged her on Instagram and she's been really helpful with any questions that I have. So
and that's the thing, like you need to look at different avenues of information to see what resonates with you and will actually help you then implement what you're learning. Because if you're just absorbing all the information, you can get into the trap or that you can think that you're making progress, but really you're just absorbing. You're not actually going into the implementation side, which is where you'll get the most growth because that's where you're actually trying different things, seeing what works, tweaking what you're doing, testing different candles, like the whole process. Like it needs to be not just in your head, but you need to actually go out and do it. And you've made that transition beautifully and you've had your soft launch, you sold out your 3 candles in 3 days, which is beautiful. And now it's about improving and continuing to learn and grow on your knowledge as well as making more products and seeing how they go in the market.
Yes. Thank you.
What's been the most exciting thing or the most exciting part so far?
Honestly, just the whole making of the candle and experimenting and just finding what I like best in candle making, I guess. That's the main thing right now. I have a couple vendor markets that I'm really excited about. I haven't gone to one yet, so we'll see how they go, but I'm pretty excited for the vendor markets.
Yeah, amazing. And when are they? Are they coming up soon or at the end of the year?
I've got 2. So there was one supposed to be in July, but besides my candle and cakes business, I am a part owner with my sister in a wedding decorating business. So we've got a wedding in July, so I won't be doing my vendor market then, but I've got one coming in August and September. I've got one in each month of those.
It's a good way to start having one a month as opposed to one a week. That can be quite overwhelming. And you work full time as well, as you mentioned earlier, and to try and juggle all the different things and all the different responsibilities can leave you feeling more stressed and overwhelmed than actually excited and looking forward to making and then selling at the market. So yeah, once a month I think is a good starting point. And then when you've had that experience and you know, okay, this is something I want to pursue, I want to continue, you can then do more markets and do more than one a month if you've got markets around you that do that and if it's what you want to do for your business.
Yeah.
What are you most looking forward to about the journey ahead? Say 6 months from now or a year from now, what excites you about this journey?
I'm excited to meet all the people that I'm probably going to meet, like through vendor markets and stuff like that. I'm just excited to meet new people and interact with new people. I love meeting new people and talking. So that's the thing that I'm most excited for. And just to see where my candles go. Like right now, I'm still in the beginning phase with like testing out molds, and because I really like the flower molds. So I want to do like flower molds for my candles. And I'm just excited to like test all of that out and see what I like best and what I'm going to actually like stick to in the end. So yeah.
I love that there's so much hope and like a sparkle in your eyes. You think about what's coming for you. But on the flip side, what's been the biggest challenge for you so far?
Uh, the fact that I have a full-time job, I feel like I'm I'm so bad with like organizing my schedule. So it's just like trying to find time to actually take everything and take it out. I just moved back in with my parents, so I currently don't have a certain spot that I can set up all my candle supplies. So right now it's just in a bin in my closet. So it's like whenever I want to make candles, I have to pull the whole bin out and then lay it all out and make candles. And so I feel like just getting the motivation to pull everything out and every after a full days of work, I feel like that's the biggest struggle for me right now.
Yeah, like I'm sitting here nodding because it's so relatable. I remember when I started my candle making journey as well, I had everything in a cupboard as well. And you've got to like, yes, you want to get to the actual making of the candles and the melting the wax and the mixing the fragrance and all the fun stuff. But first you have to pull everything out and set everything up and get everything ready. And then of course at the end you've got to pack everything down and put it all away. So it definitely you have to factor in that that's going to take time as well. And if you've worked, an 8 or 9 hour day and you're tired, it's so much easier to just to say, I'll do this tomorrow, or I'll do it later. And then of course later, never comes. So really it's steeped in what your goals are for your business and for your journey and what you want to get out of it and where you want to go with it. So my next question would then be, what are your goals? Like, where do you see this in the future?
I guess each person has their own goals. Honestly, my goals are just honestly, if I make like one sale a month, I'm pretty happy. Probably in the future, I'll probably more so depends on how far in the future we're talking. Like if we go like a year or 6 months in the future, if I could get like one sale a week or multiple sales a week, that would be awesome. But for right now, it's definitely like just one sale a month. I don't really have big goals. I'm honestly just doing this just to see where it goes. I'm kind of just going with the flow with this business. Hopefully it does go pretty far. That would be awesome. But right now I'm just enjoying where it's at. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so important to enjoy the process and to enjoy the journey. When I speak to some candle makers, they are so determined and focused on a particular endpoint of what they're looking for. And I always think, well, what happens when you reach that? Do you just go, okay, now I'm done. I close the business down. I've reached that one goal. But when you can look at it with more of an open-ended mind of, I want to see where this goes. I'm willing to put in the work to get to where I want to go. It can go in so many beautiful directions, and you can't anticipate or you can't predict where it's going to end up. But as long as you're enjoying the journey along the way, it's just so important to do that.
Yes, I agree.
Here's a question that I've not asked anyone on the podcast before, but it jumped out at me when I was thinking of chatting with you today. Don't freak out. My question is, what is your biggest fear about your journey with candle making?
My biggest fear. Ooh,
Yeah.
I don't know, because I feel like the answer would be the fear of failure. But as of right now, I know that I'm not fully set on like my candle business income. It's like I know I work full time, so I don't need the money. So honestly, I don't know if I have a fear for like if it fails, it fails. If it goes amazing, it goes amazing. So I don't think I really have a fear in this. So I don't know if that's weird to say, but I
No.
don't think I really have a fear.
No, not at all. And it's so beautiful and authentic and genuine how you've answered that question because everyone, as like I said earlier, like everyone that I speak to is so excited about the future. But there's always that, I guess, that undertone of, yes, what if I fail? Or what if this doesn't work out? Or what if I don't reach my goals, which is all kind of tied in with failing. But my definition of failure is when you completely stop. If
Yeah.
you continue to pivot and learn and grow and evolve, you don't fail. You just, you reach a specific point and you go, okay, that's not working for my business right now. I'm going to try something new. And then that takes you a little bit further. And then you try something new and you go further again. So being fearful or being, I guess, scared of a specific outcome can sometimes be enough to stop you from taking the action because you don't want that fear or that, that hesitation to be realized. But it can also motivate you to move towards more of a positive side rather than being caught up in the negativity and the pessimism of it all, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes complete sense.
Now, you said that you work full time. You've got your candle and cheesecake business, which we're chatting about today. What else is happening in your life? Like, what's your routine look like as a small business owner?
Oh, it's so hectic. Um,
Oh,
I'm so, like I said earlier, I'm really bad at like laying out a good schedule, which I'm currently working on. But I feel like since I've moved in back with my parents, it's like my mom always needs my help wherever I am. And it's just like I try to help her the best I can, but it's like I need to go and do this. But she lets me have a little bit of time to do things for my business, which is great. But for scheduling wise, all I know is I have to be at my full-time job every single day. So I know that those hours are those hours. And then after that, it's whether I'm really tired after the day or I have enough energy to go ahead and make a couple of candles, I'll do that. But I don't really have a schedule, but my life is pretty busy with the two. So yeah.
what's your favorite thing about what you do?
I love the scents. I love smelling different scents, experimenting with different scents. Honestly, just the whole process of making a candle is pretty cool to me. I've heard multiple people say that it's not just pouring wax in a container and then letting it dry and then there you go, you have a candle. It's a lot more scientific than that. And I've figured that one out myself. So yeah, just experimenting with everything. But I love all the different scents. So that's I think my favorite part about it.
And what gives you motivation to keep going when you're faced with challenges along your journey?
Seeing other people succeed. I love seeing other people succeed and I just look at it and I'm just like, if they can do it, then I can do it too. Like people around me are such a huge motivation to me myself. I look at other people and I'm just like, they can do it, so can I. So that's pretty much all I do is just look at people that are kind of in the same business as me and I get motivated by seeing other people succeed.
I love that. I love that you find your inspiration from looking at people that are a little bit further ahead in the journey. Sometimes when we look too far ahead and we look, say, like at the big stores that sell candles and we think, how do they get there? That feels like so far away. But if you're not comparing, but if you're getting inspired by people that are just that little bit further ahead, it does. Like it gives you permission and it gives you that realization that, if they can do it, I can do it too. How would you define success?
Success is different for everyone. Honestly, for me, that's such a hard question for me. Success to me would be being able to afford a vacation. I feel
Mm.
like if I could go on like one vacation to a tropical country somewhere a year, just once a year, even, I feel like that'd be successful for me.
That's the sort of thing that you would put on a vision board or have as the phone background, like on your mobile to inspire you and keep you motivated. Because when you've got something that is so authentic to you and makes you go, yes, like that to me is success. That to me is what I'm after. Then going after that and doing what's required and taking inspired action and being consistent is what will get you to your goals and will get you to success.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Now, is there anything that you'd like to share about candle making in general or your business that the listeners might like to know?
Like I said earlier, it's not just melting wax and putting it in a container and then letting it dry and there you have a candle. It's a lot more than just that. It's a lot more math and science behind it. And definitely if you do plan on starting your own business, definitely do your research. I'm really glad that I did the amount of research that I did before jumping into making candles. So yeah, definitely do the research before trying anything.
Now, Lena, we've come to one of my favorite parts of the podcast where I ask all my guests three questions relating to candles. Number one is, what is your favorite candle fragrance?
Sandalwood. I love the sandalwood fragrance.
Number two, what do you love about candles?
I love the cozy feel they bring to any room/home. After cleaning, I love lighting up a candle and then sitting down with a cup of coffee or tea or a snack even sometimes after cleaning. I'll have a snack and I'm just lighting the candle and knowing that that's the finish of cleaning a house.
Yes, yeah, I can certainly relate to that. In fact, I need to do some cleaning today, and that's why I haven't yet lit a candle because I'm like, no, that'll be my little reward. And then the last question is, what is one piece of advice you'd like to give to other candle makers?
don't get discouraged by other people. Like I know I don't know, me being like seeing other people succeed is a motivation to me, but I know a lot of people it's like they get discouraged by other people's like seeing how far other people are. And like what you said, if you're looking at the really big picture, it's good to do so, but if you're starting off in the start, then kind of narrow it down so you don't get too discouraged. That can definitely be in your future plans, but don't just be like, oh, it's going to happen tomorrow. Like it's going to take its time. That's for sure. So just patience and don't get discouraged by other people. Each person is on their own little journey. So we're all on different levels. So just don't get discouraged.
I love that. I'm sitting here nodding because what you're saying is just so true and so beautiful. And it's just that encouragement that we all need just to not give up and to keep persevering and keep trying and keep aiming for our goals. And if we're only comparing ourselves to the person that we were yesterday, as opposed to looking at other people around us, as long as you're improving and getting a little bit better each day or a lot better each day, then you're making progress. And that counts more than anything.
Yes, exactly.
Now, Lena, I would love to know where the listeners can find you online for anyone that would like to send you a message or just to say hello. Where's the best place that we can find you?
On Instagram, which is Lovely Wicks and Cakes.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, my friend, for listening to this episode. Check out the show notes for all the links mentioned throughout the conversation, and please subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you're feeling inspired, I would love it if you would write a review for the podcast and give a 5-star rating. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day.